Section 7, Division of Whole Numbers. You were asked to do 75 divided by 3. 75 over 3, or 75 divided by 3. This says 75 divided by 3. What are you dividing by? 3. People would say, oh, you're dividing by 75. No, you're dividing by 3. Why? Because another way of saying that line is divided by. You can say over 75 over 3. That's not wrong. But you can also say 75 divided by 3. We're dividing by 3. That means 3 into 75. We'll try doing this using what's called short division. You need to know your 3 times table. You want to find the largest multiple of 3 that does not exceed 7. Well, 3 is less than 7. This 3 is less than 7. Let's try 2. 3 times 2. Oh, that's 6. That's less than 7. 3 times 3, that's 9. That's more than 7. This was the largest multiple of 3. It did not go beyond 7. 3 times 2 is 6. So you put the 2 here. 7 take away 6. That leaves 1 left over. Then you find the largest multiple of 3 that does not go past 15. Well, 9 didn't go past 15. 3 times 4 did not go past 15. 3 times 5 is 15. Anything bigger, 3 times anything bigger than 5 will be more than 15. 3 goes into 15 exactly 5 times with no remainder. Okay. Besides, you should have known this answer. 3 of what gives you 75? Think cents. 3 of what gives you 75 cents? The answer is 3/4 give you 75 cents. So you should actually have known that with 75. I meant to say 25. If you wanted to do long division, pretty much everything will be the same. What's the largest number you can multiply 3 by and not go past 7? The answer is 2. Anything larger than 2 gives you more than 7. Gives you more than 7. So we put 2 up here. 2 times 3 is 6. And even above, I asked, what's 7 minus 6? The answer is 1. Here, we put the 1 right there. That was the big difference. We bring down the 5, and we get 1, 5, which is what we got before. What's the largest number that you can multiply 3 by to get 15? Well, here's 15 right here. 3 times 5 is 15. 3 times 5 is 15. That's what we subtract, and we get 0. And we say, okay, the answer is done. There is our answer, 25. If you wanted to check, you would multiply the 25 and the 3, and you should get the number over here, 75. And 25, 3. Well, you should know the 25 table. 25, 50, 75, 100. 3 times 25 is 75. Okay, let's try the column. We'll do it using division, and we'll do it using long division. Use short division, you have to know how to subtract maybe in your head. Suppose you were asked to do this. This number divided by 8. We're dividing by 8. What you're dividing by goes in front of that bar. The number you're dividing goes in here. Now we need to know our 8 times table. 8 times 1 is 8. 8 times 2 is 16. 8 times 3 is 24. 8 times 4 is 32. 8 times 0 is 0. 8 times 5 is 40. You just have to know this, whether you write it down or not. You have to know your 8 times table. Else, you can't do division. Not because you're not good at it, but because you don't know your times table. 8 really doesn't go into 5. And if you want to say it does, fine, it goes in 0 times. The largest number on this list that does not go past 5 is 0. 0 times. But we generally don't like to start off with a number that says 0. In here, the number 73 is also 073. But we don't write that. We just write down 73. So now you go to 54. Ignore that 0. Any other 0 you can't ignore. But the first 0 you can. 54. The largest number on this list, the one that's circled to the right, that does not go above 54, is 48. 8 times 6 is 48. 48 from 54 is 6. Now we have 64. The largest number on our list that does not go beyond 64 is 64 itself. 8 times 8 is 64. So we put an 8 up here. 8 times 8 is 64. You take that away from 64, the remainder is 0. You want to write the 0 down, write it down. You don't want to write it down, don't write it down. But nonetheless, this number is 3. 8 goes into 3 exactly 0 times. The largest number on our list that does not go above 3 is 0. 8 times 0 is 0. So we have 3, and remember 0 times 8 is 0. You want to do 3 take away 0, which is 3. That's your remainder. 8 goes into 32 evenly. Goes in 4 times. And there is your answer. There is your answer. 6,804. If we do the problem all over again using one division, we're going to get the same exact result. The only thing is you don't have to do subtraction in your head. 8 does not go into 5 more than, it doesn't go in 5 even one time. When 8 goes into 54, 48 is the largest number that doesn't go beyond 54. 8 goes into 54 6 times. 6 times 8 is 48. I mentioned that before. And then I asked you, what was the subtraction? Now we formally write it down. And you should know it's 6, but if you have to borrow, you borrow. 14 minus 8 is 6. 4 minus 4 is 0. You don't have to write down 0. Bring down to 4. Every one of the numbers have to have a digit of them. 8 into 64, well, there's 64. Even. Goes in 8 times. 8 times 8 is 64. Subtract, you get 0. Bring down to 3. That number is just 3. 0, 3 is 3. 8 goes into 3. Well, what's the largest number on our list that does not go above 3? Answer, 0. So, I put 0 up, because 8 times 0 is 0. 0 times 8 I ran out of room, but there's the 32 that you see at the bottom. 4 times the 8 in front is 32. You subtract into 0. Here's the answer, 6804. Try another one. Suppose you wanted to do 960 divided by 15. That is, you want to do 15 into 960. You need to know your 15 times table. And for example, 15 times 6 is 90. 15 doesn't go into 9, but it'll go into 96. 15 times 7 is going to be bigger than what we want. It's going to be bigger than 96. So the largest thing you can multiply 15 by and get less than 96 or even equal to 96 is 6. 15 times 6 is 90. You do your subtraction, you bring down the next digit. 15 times 4 is exactly 60. That's why 4 goes here. 4 times 15 is 60. Subtract, you get 0. And you're done. Not only because you got 0, but there's no other number. For example, if we had 30 as well, 96030. Change the problem. Now, you would bring down the 3. 0, 3 is just 3. 15 goes into 3 0 times. 15 times 1 is more than 3. It's 15. 15 times 0 is 0. You subtract. 3 minus 0 is 0. Bring down to 0. 15 times 2 is 30. Take away the 30. 15 times 2 is 30. You get 0. Now you're done. Why? Because you ended at that digit. 6402 would be the answer. If you did 96030 divided by 15, the answer would be 6402. If you did the original problem divided by 15, the answer was just 64. So I kind of slipped in 2 problems. Now, I even want to modify this problem ever so slightly. What if the last digit was not 0, but rather an 8? So, when we came down, it really should be 38. It really should be 38. And 15 times 2 is as close to 38 as you can get without going over. Because 15 times 3 is more than 38. So I still have 2. 2 times 15 is 30. When I subtract, I get 8. That's called the remainder. Once you deal with the last digit, unless you want to go into decimals, once you get to the last digit, you're done. This is the remainder. And I guess you're not exactly done. You have one more thing to write. The remainder divided by what you were dividing by. Okay, if the remainder was 0, then you would have 0 over 15, which is 0. You don't have to add on 0. This number, 6,402 and 815, that means 6402 plus 8 over 15. Instead, it was 0 over 15. You're really just adding 0. And if you just add 0, So if the remainder was 0, don't bother writing 0 divided by case 15. It doesn't add on. Okay, but it wasn't that. Let's try this same problem all over again using short division. Suppose you wanted to do your 15 into your 960. Well, 15 times 6 is 90. When I take away 90 from that number, I get 6. And 15 goes into 60 exactly 4 times. And you're done. Okay? If you also had this 3, 0, you have to continue. 15 into 3 goes exactly 0 times. 15 times 1 is more than 3. 15 times 0 is less than 3. Okay, 15 times 0 is 0. When I take that number away from 3, I still have 3. 15 into 30 goes exactly 2 times. You can always use short division. Always. Sometimes it's a disaster though. Sometimes the numbers are just too big. For example, if you were to do 964 into, we'll do long division first. 1, 8, 3, 2, 4. I want it to go evenly, so I'll say 158. 158. You need to know your 964 table. Well, it doesn't go into 1 even one time, or 18, or 183, but 1832 is more than 900. Now you should think, 1832 is approximately 1800, and 964, why, that's about 900. Dividing these two numbers is close. It's about the same as dividing those numbers. But that's 2. The answer will be 2, or 1 more, or 1 less. Either going to be either 964 goes into 1832 2 times, or 1 time, or even 3 times. This number will be off by 1. Well, let's try that number. 962 times 2 will be 4, 12, 18 plus 1. 1924. That's too much. We only had 1832. So that means 2 is too much. We do 1 time. 964. If you subtract this, you get 868, I guess. 17. Yeah, you get 868. Bring down to 4. This is 8,000. Think of 900 as being close to 1,000. 1,000 goes into 8,000 around 8 times, or exactly 8 times. So that's our starting point. Again, 8684. It's around, actually, maybe you can argue it's closer to 9,000. And 964, why, that's close to 1,000. And 1,000 goes into 9,000 9 times. So let's start with 9. 36. 9 times 6 is 54. Plus 3 is 57. 9 times 9 is 81. Plus 5 is 86. It's a very good guess. We're just under 8684. Oh, we'll try 9. We'll use 9. 8, 6, 7, 4. Excuse me, 7, 6. When you subtract these numbers, you work it out, you'll get 8. Let me get rid of this side work. So now, you bring down the next digit. 964 times 1 is 964. That's bigger than 81. It's going to be 0. 964 times 0 is 0. You subtract, you get 81. If you have to put the 0 up, bring down the 5. 964 is bigger than 815. That is, it won't even go one time. 964 times 1 is already 964. That is, it's already bigger than 815. So then we go 0 times. 0 times 964 is 0. Subtract, get 815. Bring down the next and last number, 8. Okay, how many times might it go in? Well, 8158 is approximately 8,000. And 964 is approximately 1,000. So dividing those two numbers is approximately the same as dividing these numbers. 3 zeros get canceled from top to bottom. 8 divided by 1 is 8. I'm going to try 8. It'll either be 8 or 9 or 7. One more than 8, one less than 8. 8 times 4, 32. 8 times 6 is 48, plus 3 is 51. 8 times 9 is 72, plus 5 is 77. Okay, you may say, well, I could have tried 9 times 964. That is, you add 964, and you'll get 86. This number is 9 times 964. It's bigger than that number. So we're going to stay with 8. I guess it didn't go evenly. Okay, and then I take away 8 times 964, which is 7712. And we get 446. And that's the remainder. 446 divided by 964. No, we didn't talk about it yet, so I won't do it. We can reduce that number. But for now, that's the answer. Now, if we go and redo this problem all over again using short division, hopefully you'll realize that was a mistake. Some problems just aren't designed for short division. Like problems that have 3-digit numbers in the denominator. That is, if you have a 3-digit number that goes there. Excuse me. I'll actually leave some space between the digits because the remainders can get pretty big. Okay. 9 doesn't go into 1, it doesn't go into 18, it doesn't go into 183, but it goes into 1832. In fact, just to save a little space, and to give myself more space, let me put the 1832 closer. 1832, 4, 1, 5, 8. Okay, and it goes in one time. Now, do you know what 1832 minus 964 is? The answer is no. You you're going to have to do that on the side. But you know what? If you just said not 1 times that number and put it there, that is the long division, you would now compute that subtraction. And since we don't even know the answer to the subtraction, we're really doing long division anyways. Okay, the remainder is 868. That's the number that goes there. Now, since I have my answer, I'll be pretty good at guessing. I'll guess that the largest multiple of 968 that does not go over 8684, does not go beyond that number, will be 9. Get 36 is 54 plus 3 more is 57. 81 plus 5 is 86. Well, what is this number? Take away 8676. And the answer is 8. But you may not see that, which is fine. Take this away from 8684. 7, you get 8. Everything else is 0. 7 minus 7, 6 minus 6, 8 minus 8, all 0. The remainder is 8. And before I forget, let me put the 9 up there. Okay, now, let's first erase a lot of it. Now we ask ourselves, how many times does 964 go into 81? Answer is it goes in 0 times. It doesn't even go 1 time. 964 times 1 is already too much. It goes in 0 times. 0 times 964 is 0. When I take that number 0 away from 81, well, I get 81. Then I ask myself, how many times does 964 go into 815? And since 815 is less than 964, the answer is 0. And when I take away 0 times 964, which is 0, when I take that away from 815, my remainder is 815. Okay, now 964 times 8, well, that's 32. 48 and 1 is 51. Excuse me. 48 and 3 is 51. 8 times 9 is 72 plus 5 is 77. That's the largest multiple of 8 that does not exceed 8158. So that's why I put an 8 up there. And then you have to know what you get when you have 8158 and you take away this number. Might as well have just done the long division. In any case, this is your remainder, and actually in this case it's the final remainder, because I stop once I put a number above 8. That is, anything that's left over is my remainder. 446 divided by what we're dividing by, 964. Now I'm pretty sure that I did it correctly because I got the same answer that I got above. 19,008 and 446 over 964. I mentioned in the first section that when you have a decimal, you can replace the decimal with the word and. It's the only time you say and. Well, there's another time you say and. When you have a whole number and a fraction. Right in there, you get to say and. 1908 and 446 over 964. Sometimes it doesn't pay to do long division. Okay, one last problem. If you had 314 you're dividing by a nice small number like 9. And you're supposed to know the 9 times table nicely. You can use short division. 9 doesn't go into 3, but it goes into 31. That is, it goes into 31. 9 times 3 is 27. 9 times 4, you see, 9 times 3 is 27, which is less than 31. But 9 times 4 is 36, is more than 31. So 3 is the answer. I want the largest thing I can multiply 3 by and get less than 31. 9 times 2 is less than 31, and 9 times 3 is a bigger number, which is less than 31. So it's definitely not going to be 2 that I write on the top here. Maybe it's 3, maybe not. 9 times 4, oh, that's bigger than 31. So the answer is 3. 9 times 3 is 27. When you take 27 away from 31, well, 28, 28, 29, 30, 31. 4. The remainder is 4. 9 into 44. Well, 9 times 4 is less than 44. So maybe 4 is the answer. But it won't be the answer if 9 times 5 is less than 44, or equal to 44. But it isn't. It's bigger than. So 4 is the winner. 9 times 4 is 36. When you take that away from 8, when you take it away from 44, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44. The remainder is 8. 9 times 8 is 81. 9 times 9 is 81. 9 times 10 is bigger than, okay, let me say what I really mean to say. 9 times 9 is 81, which is less than 85. And 9 times 10 is 90, which is bigger than 85. So 9 is the winner. 9 times 9 is 81. When I take 81 from 85, I get 4 left over. 9 times 4 is 36, and 9 times, which is less than 42, the 9 times 5 is bigger, so we use 4. 9 times 4 is 36. 4 times 9, 9 times 4, 36. When I take that away from 42, my remainder is 6. And 9 times 7 is exactly 63. So the answer is 34947. 34,947. Okay, that completes the section on division of whole numbers.